Hello and welcome to Ministry of JavaScript. In this video, we are going to be looking at that what is regular expression in JavaScript and how can we use it. Well, basically, we do write regular expression between these two forward slashes. So whatever we will write between these two forward slashes, JavaScript will try to match that condition with your string. So I do have a string of a Ministry of JavaScript, right? So I will come over here and write console.log and str.match. We already know that this match method will try to match your regular expression with a string. So inside this match method, we can define two forward slashes, and what I want to do is I want to check that whether the word JavaScript does exist inside our string or not. Then you can see that it is returning me an array and it is returning me the details like JavaScript does exist on the index 12, right? And if I come over here and do the same with off, then you will see that it is returning me that it is present on the index 9. So this is how you can write the regular expression in JavaScript. So we do have some flags in regular expression. The first one is G. If I come over here and write off again, then you will notice that it is returning me the details of the first off. It has completely ignored the second off. Well, because if you will not assign the global flag in the regular expression, then it will only return you the first match element or value. It will ignore all the rest values. To get all the match value, you can use the G or you can use the global flag. The question is, how can we use the global flag? Well, after the second forward slash, you can come over here and write G. Then you will notice that it is returning me all the match value. If I come over here and write off again, then it will return me that as well. But the question is, if I come over here and change the O from lowercase to capital O, then you will notice that it has completely ignored that of from our regular expression result. So how can we get that? Well, that is very easy. For that, we use the another flag of regular expression, which is called I. Basically, what does I will do? I will ignore all the cases like uppercase, lowercase or capitalized. So after G, if I come over here and write I, then you will notice that we are getting our off as well, which is starting from capital O. Alright, so we have learned about the basic of regular expression and about the some useful flags of regular expression. Let's move forward. We do have something called sets inside a regex. Basically, we can write the sets inside the two square brackets. So let me come over here and change our string from Ministry of JavaScript to cat. So what I want to do is I will do something like this, and I will assign C inside our square bracket. So you can notice that it is returning me the value. It means that our condition is passing. But if I come over here and change from C to X, then you will notice that it is returning me false. If I want to assign multiple values, I want to assign basically I want to tell JavaScript to find the at with the prefix of C or R or M or F. Well, we can be able to do that inside this square brackets. So I will come over here and write C, F, R and M, and if I try to find red, then you can see that it is returning me red. If I try to find fat, then it will return me fat. If I try to find matte, then it will return me matte. So whatever you will assign inside this square brackets, it will try to find inside your string and it will return you the result accordingly. And if I write anything else, and if I try to finds z as well, then it will return me z. So this is very useful whenever you are using regular expression. Then you can define the sets like this. Well, you can define the ranges in regular expression as well. So if I come over here inside the square brackets, then I will do something like this, a to z, and let me just remove add. Then you will notice that it is returning me all the characters in an array format. And if I come over here and write anything in uppercase, and let me remove this I for a moment, then you will see that it is returning me all the characters in lowercase, but it has completely ignored all the characters in uppercase. So to get that, we can do something like this, A to capital Z. Then you will notice that we are returning, we are getting all our characters in lowercase or uppercase as well, or whatever I will write inside this, it will return me, right? But if I come over here and write any numbers, then you will notice it is not returning the numbers inside the result of a regular expression. To get the number, we can define the range of a number from 0 to 9. Then you will notice that it is now returning me all the numbers as well. Or if you want to get the all the numbers or characters, only the numbers and characters, then you can come over here and write \w. Then you will notice that it will return you all the characters. It will return you all the characters, as well, and all the numbers as well, right? And if you want to get only the number, then you can do something like this, 0 to 9, right? If you don't want to define this range, then you can use \d. \d will do the same thing. Basically, it is a shorter syntax of 0 to 9, right? And for the white spaces, we use \s. If I come over here and write and define any white space, then you can notice that it is not returning me in our array. To get in our array, then we will define, then you will notice that it is returning me the white space as well. Well, basically these things, \d, \s, and \w, these are the character classes of regular expressions, right? And you can be able to define it inside the ranges, inside the sets, or without square brackets as well, right? So another thing about regular expression or the anchors of regular expression. So for example, let me just change the string to Ministry of JavaScript. And what I want to do is I want to validate our string, that whether our string is starting with a word of ministry or not. Well, for that we can use something like this. We can use the symbol in the starting of our regular expression, and we can write ministry. Then you will notice that it is returning me the value. If I come over here and write anything else, then you will notice that it is returning me null, because our string is starting with the word of ministry. If I come over here and write x as well, then it will return you the value. And similarly, if you want to check anything, that whether your string is ending with a word or a character, well, for that you can use the $sign at the end of the regular expression. So what I want to do is I want to check whether my string is ending with a word of JavaScript or not. Well, for that you can write JavaScript, and at the end of the regular expression you can define the dollar. Then you will notice that it will return you a value of JavaScript, because our string is ending with a word of JavaScript. And if I come over here and write JS, then you will notice that it has returned me null. So basically these are the anchors, and JavaScript regular expression anchors give you an ability to search from the beginning that anything is starting, whatever the word, whatever the character you assign in regular expression, it will check that whether it is starting or it is ending with that word or character, right? Alright, so what I want to do next is basically I want to exclude the word of, or let's say word of JS from our string. For that we can define the square brackets and we can use this symbol, and after that I will write JS. Then you will notice that it is not returning me JS in our result, right? So if I am using something like this 1 2 3 as well, and what I want to do is I want to exclude all the numbers, then I can do something like this. Then you will notice that it is returning me all the, you know, characters and white spaces. If I want to exclude the white spaces as well, then I can define \s, as we have just learned that we do \s for the white spaces, right? So this is how you can exclude anything from the regular expression, right? Alright, so in this part we will learn how to assign anything optional inside the regular expression. So for example, I have a string of a cat, and what I will do, I'll write cat over here, and I will assign this for, if I remove the C from the string as well, then you will notice that it is returning me null. But what I want to do is I want to make that C as an optional inside the regular expression. So for that, what we can do, we can come over here, after C we can assign the question mark. Then now if I remove the C, then you will notice that it has not returned me null, it is returning me 80. Basically what it did, it made the C as an optional value. So it will not care if the C, if you assign the C or not inside your string. Alright, so let's move to the next quantifier. In this part we will learn about plus. Basically plus is a quantifier of a regular expression, and what it will do, it will try to match whatever you write inside the regular expression with one or more. Let me show you what I mean by one or more. Console.log str.match, and inside this I will write a-z, and if I assign plus after the square bracket, then you will notice that it is returning me all the value in a single element, right? But if I remove all the characters, then you will notice that it is returning as null. Why? Because it is expecting at least one, whatever we have defined inside our range, it is expecting at least one of from that range. So if I come over here and write z, then it will return me z. So this is how the plus quantifier works. So similarly, if I remove this, then it is returning me null. But if you want to make optional, like it should be 0, or it should be more than 1 or 2 or 3, or it should be 100 as well, for that we can use static word. Then you can see that it is returning us the empty string, and it is not returning as null, right? And one more thing about, let me come over here and write ministry, right? We can define the ranges as we can define the ranges as well in the quantifier, and we can be able to do that inside the curly braces. So if I come over here and write 2, then you will notice that it is returning me the elements with a range of 2. And if I come over here and write 8, then you will notice that it is returning me all the word in a single element. Or if you want to let's suppose if you have multiple words inside the string, then you can do something like this, one or more. What it will do, it will do same this. It is similar to the plus quantifier, right? So these are the quantifiers of a regular expression, And in all, if we combine all these parts, then this is how the regular expression works in JavaScript. Alright, so if you want to allow the special character inside your range, then you can be able to do that. For example, what I want to do is I want to allow all these special characters, then I can come over here and just paste it inside the square brackets. Then you will notice that it is returning me each and every special character in a regular expression result. Okay, so we have learned all the concept of regular expression, and we do have an email here, david@gmail.com, and we will do a email validation using the regular expression. So let's break this email in several parts. So for example, the first part is David, right, and then @ and then Gmail, and then dot, and then com, right? So let's start writing a regular expression. What we want to do, basically we want to tell JavaScript that it will start with the characters or word. It should be a character of word. So we can come over here and use this sign, and inside the square brackets let's assign a range, and it should be one or more. For that we can use the plus sign, right? Then after that we can define the @ sign, and then again after @ we have the characters, and the characters should be one or more, right? Then we can define something like this: a comma a hyphen z, and then let's use plus sign, and then after that we do have dot, and then again we do have a characters. But whenever we are working with these domains inside the email, then it should be two character, or maximum it should be 3 character. For that we can use a-z, and let's define the range inside square braces. We can do something like this: it will be 2 or 3. If I come over here and write C, so basically we are starting with the character, and we want to tell the JavaScript that it should end with these condition as well. Then if I come over here and write C, then you will notice that it has failed our email validation. If I write code, then it is returning me the element in an array format. It means that a regular expression result is passing. If I come over here inside after the David, I write 1993, then you will notice that it is returning me null. Or what I want to do is I want to enable the numbers as well. Then we can do something like this: 0 to 9, and let's enable this as well. Then you will notice that we are getting our email address. Well, this is it from this video. If you have any question, please feel free to drop that in the comment section. I will try to answer them. I will try to answer, and I will answer all of them for sure. Have a nice day.